All right, everyone, we are back live again. Hopefully, fucking YouTube works again this time. I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't know how they're going to release Stadia, a service that's dedicated on streaming 4K to 1080p content to your television, whatever the case is, and they can't pull off YouTube. There's issues with YouTube. Something was going on with YouTube. That's all I know. What's going on, Wraith the Emperor? What's up, Punk Kiddish? DMV Gaming, baby. What's up, Danny Joe B? Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Please let me know if there's a loop in the background. There was an issue with the previous podcast. I'm really sorry, guys. Unfortunately, it's YouTube. It's Hangouts. I don't know what, not Hangouts per se, but the YouTube Studio that you have to use in conjunction with OBS Streamlabs. So it's just a pain in the ass. Wraith says I'm good. Thank you, man. So yeah, I just wanted to do this quick podcast, guys, because really, number one, oh, Punk, man, I hope you feel better, bro. That's not good, man. Hope you feel better soon, man. Hey, Punk, are you gonna watch the Nationals tonight? The Game 4, man. It's they could take it home, take it to the World Series. I'm excited. I can't wait. So, but do me a favor, guys. I'm gonna drop the link to the podcast here in the live chat. If you guys could be so kind to retweet this out, I would definitely appreciate it. Remember, hit that like button as well. Appreciate the support, everyone. So yeah, I wanted to talk about game streaming. Is video game streaming the future? And it's a conversation that's come up more recently, and I've been having. What's up, OBM? Yes, OBM. I'm gonna hop on some Destiny, dude. I'll see you on tonight, man. Let's get some Destiny 2 in. Unfortunately, we didn't get to complete all the Nightfall strikes. I think we had to do like 3 more. We did 2 out of 5. Wraith the Emperor said, "Nope, it's trash." Punk, you're a Braves fan? Come on, man. You live in the DMV now. You live in the DMV. You got to be a Nats fan. Anyhow, OBN says I'm running around lost. We'll play some Destiny 2 tonight, man. By the way, guys, really cool to see One Bad Mother in the live chat. Many of you guys don't know. It's somebody I've known on Xbox, going back to the first original Xbox console on Xbox Live 17 years ago. That's how long I've known this man for. And we met in the early days of Xbox Live, before Xbox Live what it is today. And we were playing games like Unreal Championship, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Mech Assault, Crimson Skies, Rainbow Six. Just a lot of games. So it's great to see him here. So OBM, we'll get on some Destiny 2, hopefully with Kane's fan. Big shout out to Kane's fan. I don't know if you're listening live or if you listen later, but big shout out to Kane's fan as well. So it's interesting. I like you guys though. Like in OBM, you could talk about this in the live chat because I know you're pretty bullish on 5G technology. I know that when I heard about Project X Cloud and what Google was doing with Stadia, I was super excited. I think the techie in me just got get very excited about the potential future and the impact on what game streaming could be. I immediately thought, oh my God, this is gonna be like Netflix. Like I can, watch, like with Netflix, you can stream content on your TV, you can stream content on your tablet, you can stream content on your phone. Comcast has an Xfinity streaming app, so there's times where I'll watch live TV on my telephone, which is awesome. I thought that's going to be cool with streaming, with streaming games to your phone. I mean, I was talking to the Mooch about this, and we talked about Destiny 2, being able to play a game like Destiny 2. Can you imagine being able to? We talk about the grind in Destiny 2. Can you imagine grinding out with Destiny 2 on your mobile device? During a lunch break, so you don't skip a beat. So. Some guy says streaming hype. And so look, guys, Thierry Bogart says, hell no, streaming games is not the future. So look, guys, I was on the hype train. I was even trying to saw, I think, Matt Piscatella of MPD on, on things like Stadia, and I think, if my memory serves me correct, he kind of I think he looks at this as kind of an addition to, and maybe not necessarily a replacement to, what we know as traditional console gaming. What's up, Gregor Von Doom says, imagine getting weaseled arrow codes in Destiny 2 on your phone. Yeah, that would actually kind of piss me off. And those are things that you got to imagine the gamers are probably going to experience at some point as they game on their mobile devices. But I was very bullish, very excited about the prospects of Stadia and gaming. I thought, oh my god, I don't want to have to buy a game console anymore. I can just play on my TV. And then I started thinking about things, and I started having more conversations with other gamers. As I mentioned, we had Matt Piscatella on from MPD, a couple months ago, and we were talking about streaming and stuff on that show. And one bad matter says, mega corporations are bullish on 5G. Internet is not there yet. Will be good complement with games like Gears Tactics on the go. Not good for Halo. And that's the thing with Halo right now. Like in the beta, I know that people are complaining about the menus being very tiny because the game isn't necessarily optimized to fit on you're talking about a game that's developed to be played on televisions, and now you're playing it on a mobile device, which is much smaller than, let's say, a 55-inch TV. People are saying, hey, it's hard to see the menu bars and things of that nature. But Microsoft is working on that. I think there's something called Cloud Aware, which is a tool that devs can use to kind of help scale their games, so that things like the menu system and whatnot, are visible on a smaller display device like a smartphone. But and then I started talking about 5G. I thought 5G. Here we go. 5G is going to be the future of gaming. It's 5G is going to do for video games what 4G LTE did for streaming music and streaming video, streaming high quality video. And what's up, Stu Jersey X? Thanks for coming by. Guys, remember, hit that like button. Really appreciate it. Retweet the link. Let's get some people in here. Let's get a good, healthy debate going on about the future of video game streaming. So I know OBJ the Don. I don't know if you're listening, but he thinks streaming is trash, in his words. So it's interesting. We're at a point now, and I do think streaming in the video game industry was bound to happen. I think it just seems like the next step of progression in the industry. And to no surprise, Microsoft is at the forefront of streaming. I've levied plenty of criticism at Microsoft regarding their lack of first party and some of the dumpster juice game releases that they've that they've given us this console gen. Although Gears 5 is great, guys. If you've not played Gears 5, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's by far and away the best exclusive game that Microsoft has released in this console generation. It's an amazing game. Looks even better on PC. And I'm playing it at higher frame rates and ultra settings. It's amazing. No muddy textures. And by the way, I do have hashtag Scarlet already at my house with my gaming PC. My 2070X, my RTX 2070 GPU with ray tracing capabilities. And my AMD 2700X CPU. Thank you very much. So, although I'm already thinking, maybe I should have got a more powerful computer. It's crazy as that sounds. So, so it's interesting. So, like Daniel B in the live chat says, for me, streaming games on my phone is a step back, not forward. And I get that perspective. But I think that, and I used to think that this was potentially going to be a replacement for console gaming. And I said that because I said, I look at like how my kids play video games and their first experiences. Their first experiences with video games were on tablets. So, for example, like, all my kids have played on on an Amazon. We have Fire tablets for the kids, so they've all played some sort of game on the Amazon Fire tablets. And then as they gotten older, they have graduated to we have an NES Classic. They play the NES Classic. We have a Nintendo Switch. They love the Nintendo Switch. But the big difference for them and compared to how I grew up, like I grew up playing on the Atari. That was my first gaming platform. Home console, sat in front of the TV. Their experience a little bit different. Their experience was, you know, games on demand, download games, free games, stuff like that on a tablet. And of course they've been exposed to consoles now because they're gotten a little bit older now, and actually my 10-year-old just started gaming on my PC now. My 5-year-old wants to game on my PC now because obviously he sees his older brother doing that. But so I thought this was like a natural progression, that it only made sense that at some point somebody was going to come in and try to disrupt the industry. And Google was there, Microsoft was there. Believe it or not, I think Sony is going to, as they do. So and look, I know people are like, oh, Sony doesn't innovate, they copy. Look, guys, all technologies copy from each other. Samsung copies from Apple, Apple copies from Samsung, Microsoft copies from Sony, Sony copies from Microsoft, yada, 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 etc. They all do it. You got to remember, Microsoft wasn't the first in the cloud space as relates to console gaming. You may remember a streaming service called Gaikai, which Sony bought for about $500 million, which is now affectionately known as PlayStation Now. It's just that Sony hasn't put that at the forefront of what they're trying to do or what they're selling. It's an addition to or an option. You'll probably hear them talk about it more, and you're seeing them actually talk about it more. I'm seeing, since the announcement of the price reduction of PlayStation Now, Sony's actually really advertising PlayStation Now heavy on television. I see lots of commercials on PlayStation Now, probably more than I remember. So, guys, please hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and retweet the link out on Twitter. I really appreciate it. Definitely want to get some more people in here to get a good discussion going in the live chat. And actually, there's a great discussion going on right now. Gregor Von Doom says the only Scarlet I'm interested is an Avenger. Well played, sir. One Bad Mother says we also need to realize that in some countries the hardware is way less affordable. This will expand the market. This will be the first AAA games in some territories. We forget where we come from. Yeah, I get that. I get that. In some markets, hardware is more expensive. But the other thing, OBM, and I think this is something that Matt kind of touched upon with MPD, is that you got to imagine that these individuals, these particular markets, or these segments of the market that haven't had to buy consoles, that aren't experiencing AAA games, that are gaming, if they are currently gaming, and they're probably gaming on mobile devices, the data shows that mobile gamers don't pay for content. They don't pay for subscription-based services. They download content for free. That's what they do. So while I see your point, and I think that's a great point, I think that you open it up to potentially, more people, which I think is great. You open up to the idea of the market, more people having access to, AAA experiences. I do think that in some instances that, you're not going to, I think, convert a lot of people because of their, spending habits. I do think, and I think as that maybe newer market or newer individuals that are in that market that want that AAA experience, I think, they'll naturally gravitate towards that. But I don't think it's going to be this big boon. And I'm not saying you're saying that. I just don't think that there's going to be this big boon in mobile gamers because they have access to AAA experiences now. I think we'll probably see more hardcore gamers, playing AAA games on mobile devices and paying for things like Xbox Game Pass. And it's funny, I'll never forget when Slow-Mo brought that fact up when we had Matt Piscatella on. Matt's kind of shaking his head like, yes, agreeing with Slow-Mo that, hey, mobile gamers, guys, do not pay for services like Xbox Game Pass. They don't buy games the way we buy games. They buy free stuff or download free stuff. But still, OBM, that's a great point. I think in a lot of respects, it will open up the ability for people to game on their mobile devices that were interested in AAA console experience that didn't have the luxury of having those experiences. So, and Nate says, Kids don't know better till you show them better. Maybe that's innate. Maybe that's why they're gaming on my PC now. I gotta say, my 10-year-old was watching me play Destiny 2 on my Xbox One X, and then he saw me play it on the PC, and he's like, "Oh my god, the PC looks so much better." So, Nate says my nieces and nephews love Minecraft and all that. However, when they come to my house and play with the big toys, they don't care about any of that. They play D2 on my PC. Going by Mother says that's where Game Pass comes in. They won't buy $60 games. They will buy subscription. Also, don't need a high adoption rate of 2 billion subscriptions. Make the gaming accessible. Yeah, one bad mother, but that's the thing. These mobile gamers don't pay subscriptions. That's the point. Like that market, and we had this conversation with Matt from MPD. That segment, you're trying to convince people who don't pay subscriptions, who don't want to pay subscriptions, who are casual gamers, to now buy into paying subscriptions. And that's going to be an uphill battle for Microsoft. I don't think that we're going to see the 2 billion gamers are trying to reach, which are mobile gamers. I don't see them. I don't see that. Them doing that. Subscribing. A lot of the revenue from the only time that mobile gamers are buying things are when it comes to microtransactions. But a lot of the what's up, Eshan? And Sean, and you could chime in on this too, man. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but again, I'm just basing this off of NPD. But those individuals, that mobile market, they don't typically buy games or pay. They don't pay for subscription services, and they don't buy games the way we do. They will buy DLC, but a lot of the revenue that's driven from the mobile market is actually, believe it or not, revenue is generated revenue from advertisement and things of that nature. So, but again, it's not a knock against Microsoft. I know when I say this, people get all upset. Oh, you're just hating on Microsoft. No, this is just the reality of that market that they're trying to tap into, and just giving you a realistic perspective of the buying tendencies of that market, of that mobile market. It's very different than console and PC. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. We get stuck in this, well, if it works for me, it's going to work for everyone else. And that's not always the case. What may work for me, what may work for Enrique, the gamer, is not going to work for maybe, it might not work for Innate, the PC gamer, or Innate, the mobile gamer. So, and then I'm just using you as an example here. So, but still, I mean, I think that, it's still a natural progression. I think this thing was bound to happen. Microsoft, again, as I said, they're no stranger to being ahead of the puck and kind of knowing where the puck is going. They did this with the original Xbox on Xbox when they released Xbox Live, when they introduced internal hard drive to the console and an Ethernet port on the OG Xbox, which they got ribbed for. If you guys don't remember that, a lot of people were criticizing Microsoft for introducing the Ethernet port to the OG Xbox. But again, Microsoft was kind of ahead of the curve, and I think in that regard, with xCloud, they are. But here's my thing. I used to think that this was going to be the replacement for game consoles. I did. But I had a change of heart, and just my conversations with other gamers, my conversations with developers, my conversations with Matt from MPD. Here's what I think, guys. I think it's going to be part of the future. I don't think game streaming is going to be the future. I was reminded of that today when I was looking at some of the impressions that people were tweeting out regarding Project xCloud, and by all stretch of the imagination, a lot of the feedback has been very, very positive. People are saying that this thing works very well. I'm seeing people tweet out Killer Instinct and Halo, Gears 5, and that these games are running well on their phones. But something kind of stood out to me, guys, and I'm a Nintendo Switch owner, and I think Nintendo really struck gold with the Nintendo Switch. I mean, obviously it's selling gangbusters. It's doing great. Daniel B says, I don't want Microsoft to make games for those people. You mean mobile gamers? This will even further ruin our games. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not saying that Microsoft is going to focus on mobile games, but I think there will be an aspect of their business that will. Because look, I mean, at the end of the day, Danny Jail, they are in the business to make money. And if that's a place where they can make money, they're going to do it. So Sean says, true, I agree. The mobile market also aren't hardcore gamers. Ryan Landis says, at the beginning of every generation, we have to relearn that gamers are creatures of habit and tradition. Change comes, but it comes slowly. Force slows down change even more. Ryan, that's a great point, because it's interesting. As techie as gamers can be, we're very reluctant to change, and we saw that that lesson in 2013 with the whole DRM thing, and here we are. We have DRM now on consoles, and so and we have to be online, and all the things that people didn't want, we have now, and it's just that we didn't want it to happen so fast. That's the irony of gamers. I think that gaming culture, where they love technology, but they don't want to embrace that change right away. Some guy says Microsoft can just get 10% of the 2 billion gamers. That's a win. Yeah, that's a win for them. From a revenue perspective, absolutely. But I can certainly see the perspective of how people feel that maybe, hopefully that doesn't take away their focus on providing good console experiences, good gaming experiences on PC and console, because look, they're on PC now as well. But Microsoft is really kind of ahead of the game here, I think, with Project X Cloud, and it sounds very impressive from some of the impressions that I've been reading from some of the media sites, and from some of the folks that have been selected for the Xbox, the Project X Cloud beta, open beta right now, which just launched yesterday. And Daniel says, I understand, but that's not my problem. Dude, I hear you, man. So, it's interesting. Here we are. We're about a month away from the release of Stadia. I'm still on the fence about Stadia, by the way. I want to see how it works for others. Z Black Rider says, as long as Microsoft keeps buying studios to cover all bases. Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case. But, they're going to focus on where the money is. And so, I think, any organization, if there's a boom in a particular, market segment, and they don't have enough studios focused on delivering content to make more money because of the demand, yeah, you best believe they're going to move and reallocate resources, and that would be a smart move for them, because they're in the money to make business. They're in the business to make money. I think a lot of people forget that. Look, guys, obviously, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo don't care about us. The only thing they care about is their bottom line. They're in the industry to make money. They could give two flying fucks about us. They want to make money. That's it. So, Twitter's Chris Hughes says Twitter has a lot of stories of people testing xCloud at work at their break times. OBM says it's about mobile gamers are convenience gamers, convenience and low initial barrier to entry, expand markets. It's not about getting 2 billion gamers. It's about getting a fraction of them. I think that, like I said, I think if they can get some of those gamers, that's great. They expand the pie, but I also think it's about, expanding, Xbox as a games as a service platform, or a service-based platform, which basically what Microsoft is as an organization, a company. So so I was looking at some of these pictures of people playing. Stadia is actually X Initiative. Stadia is actually available on your TV if you have a Google Chrome like dongle or stick that you can plug in to your TV. Chromecast. Thank you, some guys. It's available on Chromecast as well. I don't think it's just available on the Pixel phone. I think it's available on any Android device too, if I'm not mistaken. And as long as you have Google Chrome, you can actually access Stadia, if I'm not mistaken. But, so, it's interesting. I was looking at a lot of the tweets that people were tweeting out about playing xCloud on their phones, and I just came to this realization, like, guys, and look, if this works for you, that's great. But I'm talking about me. I don't necessarily, from a functionality standpoint, I don't think that this works for me. I don't see myself, and I'm you guys can't see me, but I'm holding the special edition Gears 5 Xbox One controller, which is fucking awesome. Love the texture grips at the bottom. I did an unboxing video of that, by the way, if you haven't seen it. I saw people, they had their phones connected, with the clip holding the phone and the controller, and the clipping onto the controller and the phone being held in the clip. And I saw people holding the controller and looking at the screen. I said to myself, I'm not going to be someone who carries a Xbox One controller around with me. And thank God, by the way, that they got rid of the Duke controller a long time ago. Because you imagine if you had to carry around the fucking Duke? I mean, seriously, can you imagine having to carry that around if that was still the controller? Anyhow, so I was just looking at the picture and I'm like, I don't see myself. I don't see myself, no, I wonder, wounded, what's that? The wounded penguin. I've not tried xCloud yet. But no, I just don't see myself carrying a satchel with a Xbox One game controller with me. I don't see that. The functionality just is not there for me. I don't see myself doing that. And I just feel like it's like something like the Nintendo Switch. The functionality, I think, for that's a little bit better. With when you have it in handheld mode, and the aesthetics, I think, are a little more appealing to me, at least, with the Switch than having this clip and then having your Xbox One controller. And so I don't see myself doing this on a phone. However, no, Ryan, I'm not getting a controller holster. And look, nobody bid it. Look, if you get a controller, if you get a holster for your controller, I'm going to make fun of you. I'm just warning you. I will make fun of you. So I could see myself though, playing, on a tablet, and then maybe having the controllers on the screen of the side of the tablet or something like that. I just don't see myself lugging a controller around. And I know you guys are saying, oh, well, if you lug a Switch around, it's the same thing. Well, yeah, I mean, but the Switch, it's almost just like a tablet with, extended controllers at the end. And so it's pretty much attached to the tablet. It's not anything on addition to. It just seems a little more aesthetically pleasing, to me at least, and just more functional in my opinion. But I could see myself doing this on a tablet. Maybe when I'm sitting in the living room, or if I'm on a long trip, hopefully connected to a 5G network connection. I could see myself doing that. And so, but I don't see people wanting to game on their tablets or smaller devices 100% of the time over sitting in front of their nice 65-inch OLED, yeah, LG TV. I don't see that. I don't see anyone wanting to pick that over, gaming on their mobile device. So, I do think, and hey, Z Black Rider, I actually agree with you. I think we'll see more creative control options. I think that's going to happen. I do think that I think that this is going to be not necessarily be the future of gaming in the only way people game, in part because of the functionality things that I mentioned earlier about having to lug a controller around, gaming on a smaller screen. I mean, look, Destiny 2 would be great to grind, on a lunch break, but you're not going to want to play Destiny 2, for 6 hours staring at your Galaxy S10 Plus. If you have the ability to stream, and let's say Project X Cloud is available on your TV, I mean, fuck yeah, I would stream X Cloud through my TV. I would totally do that with a controller. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's essentially console gaming without, the hardware sitting in front of me, and that's essentially what Stadia is. Some guy says xCloud has touch controls. That's good. I mean, I haven't seen anyone use the touch controls, but they have that. That's great. Jason Portillo says I'd use it when I'm at work. I'd bring my controller in my backpack. Jason, just don't bring your controller when you're on a date. Not a good look, bud. Wraith, Destiny is God. What's up, Wade? What's up, Midway 7 Monster? Says this is Gary from the club. What is going on? Ishan wants it. Enrico, will you address the Outer Worlds PS4 Pro issue? I'm not familiar with that, Ishan. I have not. I have been. I have not. That one has flown under my radar. It's something that I'll talk about in tomorrow. So by the way, guys, Brap's going to be live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So OBM says, agree, it's not about replacements, about expansion and improving overall ecosystem. Another excuse to upsell. Yeah, I would agree with that. There will be no pro enhancement for Outer Worlds PS4, and there will be. I mean, it sucks, man. It sucks, but I mean, I think we've seen this on both consoles, if I'm not mistaken, where there was better enhancements on the Pro than the Xbox or whatever, or even early on with the PlayStation. I remember they had to get Microsoft had to send people over to Bungie to get Destiny up to 1080p on the Xbox One S, but yeah, it sucks, man. I it's unfortunate that that the Outer Worlds isn't going to have take advantage of the PlayStation 4 Pro. It sucks. Xhawk says the PlayStation 4 Pro is weak. Deal with it. Oh, come on, man. Wraith says they'll probably sell more on PlayStation 4 though. Yeah, see that's that's an interesting point, Wraith. I mean, all joking aside, I mean the PlayStation 4 has the larger user base. I mean, why wouldn't you have enhancements? I mean, and I hate to speculate. I don't know, Sean, if it's a development if it's mandated from Microsoft to Obsidian, because Obsidian's a first party studio that hey, don't make any enhancements on the Pro version. If that's the case, I don't agree with it. I think it's cruddy, but I also understand that it's business. It sucks, but it's part of business. I mean, I don't agree with it. Sean says Twitter is bowing up, and the worst part is the Windows Central writer who wrote the article. Asher was recently found making sock accounts mocking Sean Layden. Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's unfortunate, man. That's the ugly side of the gaming community. I'll never understand why people take this shit so serious, where they feel the need to harass people, or I had some idiot today, harass me about, not harass me, but just try to console war and just say dumb things. I don't understand why, because I said I feel that the xCloud, I would like to see it on the Nintendo Switch, and I guess that made his bunghole hurt or something, and he just got upset. But I think it's just ridiculous, But yeah, Sean, I think it's unfortunate that it's not on the PlayStation 4 Pro. I think if this game was in development as a third party game, I think that yeah, you should have some improvements to the PlayStation 4 Pro. Um, but it sucks, man. I don't look. I personally don't agree with it. Am I angry about it? No, because it's business. I mean, that's that's all. That's it. That's what I can say. Xhawk says, yeah, there should be enhancements on the Pro. Again, I think so too. I think so. I think that I think that it's, it's the highest install base. I mean, well, not the Pro per se, but the PlayStation 4. Why not put your best foot forward? Unless it's something that's mandated because they're first party, which I think's kind of, I don't agree with. But I've seen this happen with other platforms. It's not something that I necessarily agree with. I think that as a developer, if you have the resources, you should try to make the best experiences for as much as possible for these game for the consoles, for whatever console you own. So I know that can be tough, and who knows? Maybe it hurts sales. Maybe it hurts the sales of this game. We know how the gaming community can rally together sometimes. So, Abaca says they enhanced the Pro version, Borderlands 3, and not the X, so it happens both ways. But the Xbox One X version runs the best anyway, Abaca. So as Sean says, be hyped for Death Stranding, dude. I actually I know somebody who's demoed it, and they're saying it's legit. We'll see, though. I also know this person's a big Kojima fan, so so we'll see. So anyhow, guys, I think that again, that the streaming thing, I don't think it's gonna be something that replaces the future or console gaming. I think we'll still see consoles in some capacity. I think maybe at some point, guys, maybe in the near future, if they can perfect streaming, maybe we start seeing like an Xbox One X or an Xbox One app on your television, and you start streaming that way, something a la Netflix, or we start seeing set-top boxes or or things like Chromecast or something like that. Who knows? And it's but I think in the media future, I don't think this is something that's going to replace console gaming or people, sitting in front of their television or their PC. Look, PC hardware is not going anywhere. I don't think that's going to happen anytime. We're going to have that. So I just think that this is going to be, video game streaming is going to be in addition to gaming. It's just going to be another option. I don't see this as something that is going to replace traditional hardware, at least not in the near future. I don't see that. And I could be wrong. I suppose you could make the argument that if they can get streaming working on television sets, with a one-to-one experience as they can with consoles, then maybe you make the argument that at some point, hey, Ryan, thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate it, bud. Maybe at that point, then, maybe at that point, it's just a matter of time. Then, if they can perfect that, but even then, I know people that still want to buy console discs. They want to buy the special edition steel case books. I B Money's one of those guys. I like buying these special edition steel case books of games. I got The Last of Us 2 steel case special edition on reserve. I got the Borderlands 3 one. Persona 5 is probably one of the best ones that I've seen this gen. That with Valkyria Chronicles is pretty fucking awesome. But those steel case books are awesome. But yeah, I don't think this is going to. I don't see Stadia coming in and replacing console gaming. I see Stadia as just being another option and potentially a peak in the future. Again, if they can perfect the 1-to-1, then yeah, maybe we can make the argument that traditional hardware consoles will go away. I don't think that it's going to happen though anytime soon. I really do think that streaming video games is going to be, in addition to the ecosystem that we're already in, give us gamers the option to, just enjoy our content on the fly. And I really think, guys, I think for us, the ones that use Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation Now, the ones that purchase games, I think we're going to be the early adapters of this stuff. I really don't think, and I talked about this earlier, I don't think that this is something that the mobile market's going to go gaga over, because that's not what they do or how they, like I said, they don't pay for games. They don't pay for subscription-based services to play games. That's not that market. So I think that this is really going to be an extension of. See, Black Rider says Stadia will be harvesting your DNA while you sleep. Hey, negative latency, baby. People in live chat are talking about Death Stranding Metacritic. I think it's going to be a 90. I'm going to throw that out there. I think, look, Kojima is trolling us. I know people are like, oh, this game looks like dog shit, or, it's a pissing simulator. But I think that it's going to, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. OBM says there's going to be over 200,000 consoles. 200 million. You mean 200,000 consoles this gen? The R&D for the software and chipset in the cloud are used in consoles. Consoles aren't going to go away. Being bullish about streaming is about its expansion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's an expansion of the current ecosystem that we're in. So I think that I think it's going to be a nice option for people to have, but I don't think it's going to be the only option anytime soon. Who knows? I could be wrong, or I could be right. 200 million. That's what I thought, man. I could be wrong, could be right. Who knows? But it's really cool to see the impressions for the Xbox Cloud Beta being very positive so far. I hope, but I will say this: I hope people, because I'm not trying to pick on the Xbox community, but I hope people, if you have experienced issues with xCloud in the beta, please talk about it. Don't feel like you can't or that you need to stand for Microsoft. Honesty is the best policy anytime you're in a beta. You want to provide them with as much feedback as you can. Rate the Emperor says, I heard a podcast the other day, and they said someone in the UK said it's a great mix of Breath of the Wild and Silent Hill, and said it was terrifying. Yeah, I read that too. There was actually an article about that. So, but I will say that it goes. I think that we have conveniently forgotten with Death Stranding the earlier trailers that we saw. I think we've kind of been taken back by the gameplay footage of Norman Reedus pissing on a mushroom and Jeff Keighley being in it and the Invisible Baby. And I think that we have forgotten, if you remember Troy Baker's character. Troy Baker is one of the protagonists in Death Stranding. You remember his character looking kind of badass and summoning that big lion monster or whatever the hell it is. And then some of those, what looks like Norman Reedus traveling between dimensions and shadow figures. And, that's not a pissing simulator. That's something else. And so I think that people have forgotten about that. But we'll see. I think, Kojima is the master of trolling. So it's going to be interesting. But I think this game's going to be. Ray says, "Oh no, I rewatched the first trailer the other day." I think it's going to be a good game. That's just and I'm only basing this on his track record. I mean, it's the only thing I can go by. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I could be wrong, or could be right. I'm just going to go by his track record. Abacus says the people who were demoing at E3 were giving some positive feedback. Yeah, like I was talking to Lord King of the Iron Lords. He got to demo it. Some games did work better than the others. I know that Doom didn't, or not Doom. I forget what it was. Maybe it was. Maca 91, Maca Productions, Maca 91 Productions. It does great, by the way. If you haven't checked out his podcast, his YouTube channel, check it out. Maca 91 Productions. He does a lot of tutorial videos, achievement videos, stuff like that. Really cool guy. Puts out great content. He actually joined the live E3 stream where we had Lord Cognito on. He was talking about some of his experience. He said it worked well for what it was. Maybe not exactly 101, but still pretty damn impressive. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Stadia in a month and seeing how that rolls out. But yeah, I mean, look, guys, whether or not you're for, I think, streaming or not, I think this is definitely an exciting time. I don't think we've had a big jump or big shift like this in the industry in some time. I think, look, I've been gaming for a long time, and I saw the jump from 2D to 3D, from cartridges to CD, from completely being offline to online. And, we haven't had that kind of like leap or that kind of like that impact in the gaming industry. And I think that we're seeing that now with streaming. And so maybe, I think that's at least one thing, if it's for you or not, to even still be excited about, because it opens up the possibility of, maybe other people to experience games, or for people to carry their games if that's what they're looking for on the go. And it could lead to some cool things that developers do with it. You never know. You never know how developers are going to utilize streaming. So we'll see. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this quick Brap rant. I want to do something real quick about the streaming future, or the future of video game streaming, if it's going to take over. But guys, let me know, for those of you guys who aren't listening live, who catch us later on, let me know this in the comments section below, what your thoughts are on streaming video games. Is it the future of the gaming industry? Will it replace consoles? Will it just be an addition to, an option? Please let me know. Guys, I want to thank everyone in the live chat. Remember, guys, tomorrow night, BRAP will be back at its regular scheduled time at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, Sean, I'm going to look a little more into the whole thing with Outer Worlds. I want to check that out. So, Deathloyd says, later, Enrique, this is like your 8th podcast on the future. I like to talk about the future. What am I going to say? Muttley says no interest. All right, guys. Hit the like button. Thanks, everyone, for coming by and hanging out with me, shooting the shit, talking some video games. I appreciate it, guys. Everyone have a great evening. OBM, let's get on some Destiny 2, my friend. Run some strikes tonight. Oh, actually, I don't know, man. The baseball game's going to be on tonight. Oh, man. I need to figure that out. Oh, I could stream that on my phone. OBM says this show is negative latency for tomorrow's show. Too funny. Guys, seriously, thank you guys for everyone hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate the support. Remember, hit that like button. Hey, tell your friends about us. If you know anyone looking to listen to a good podcast that doesn't get into all that console war nonsense, it just likes to shoot the shit and keep it real, let them know about BRAP. Let them know about BRAP. So, predictive podcasting, I like that. All right, guys. So, again, remember, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, me, B Money, Eric Jackson, Gaming Forte, and Slow-Mo Backslap will be back. We'll be talking some Halo, potential development issues with Halo. I have some interesting news from developers I spoke to about potentially what's going on internally at 343 with regards to Halo. So, you're not going to want to miss that. But see you guys tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone, have a great evening. Peace!